Hello, this is Jamie Magridge. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. There's no stamping on it, it's die cuts, and then I used a piece of the Forever Gold Specialty Designer Series paper as a stencil. So let's get started. I'll show you what I used. I used just jade, old olive. I used blending brushes. I used one Stampin'Up one and then one non-Stampin'Up because I only got one set and I already have one blue and one pink, so I have more ordered. Okay, for paper, I have a scrap of black which I've already cut out the H, the G, the S, and this pot out of. I have a piece of gold, which is a scrap. It's actually the inside of the frame, and I cut out these dies here. This one, I can't tell you where it came from. It was on my wall with dies, and I couldn't find where I got it from. It's probably not Stampin'Up, but I don't remember where it came from. I have a piece of Whisper White that I'm going to stencil on and then die cut out. I have a piece of gold which I die cut a frame out of. A piece of just jade that I've die cut out. A piece of black which is 4 by 5 1/4. And my card base, which is thick white, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. And I have this piece of the Forever Gold Specialty Designer Series paper. Just to make things a little bit easier, on the back I've put some of the liquid glue, mono multi, and let it dry so it's tacky, so that it'll help it to stay in place a little bit. Okay. These are the 3 dies that I used for the layers. I used the largest, the second largest. I skipped one and went to the 4th largest. So this is the green layer, or the just jade. This one, these 2 I used to make the gold frame. And then the center that came out of there is what I used to cut out most of the gold pieces. This one was from my stash. And that is the stitched nested, or stitched rectangles. Okay. This die is from the Boho Indigo. It's one of the pots or vases. I cut it out of black. This die is from Sunflower Dies. I cut it out of the gold and then I cut the bottom off, so I'm just going to use that piece. The letters, the alphabets, are from Playful alphabet dies. And this one here is also out of the Boho Indigo. Okay, let's put all these away so I don't lose them. Box here. All these little pieces so I don't lose them. Okay. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take this, I'm going to use it as a stencil. I'm going to set it on the top of my card, sort of centered. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to die cut it out with that same smaller die at the end. So put that on there. Then I took Post-it tape. Again, this probably isn't necessary because I cut it out, but our posted notes, and I did the edges, showing you how I did it. They also work to help hold it down in place. these out of the way. Alright, first I went in with the, I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's do old olive first. Took the old olive, and then all of these leaves I sponged in a little bit of the old olive. Just tap it off a little bit. And I just went in the old olive on all of those leaves. If it starts getting too light, just go in again. Alright. One over here, I've almost missed. Okay, then I went in with the Just Jade. Filled in the other spaces. And the Just Jade is a lighter color, so you might have to re-ink more often. Try to get some ink everywhere so that it shows, and if you need to, hold this in place, but that's why I used the glue on the back of it so it would stay down. The first one I just had to hold in place and it was a little more difficult. I'll come back in with some of this old olive and add just a little bit more. If you want to add another color, by all means. Let's go ahead and take these off. Now you could use it like this, just like that. That's quite pretty like that, but I actually used it as a stencil. Peel it right up. And that's what you get. It's really quite lovely. Alright, and then I'm going to take that, oops, let me find what I do with it. This die, the third smallest, and I'm going to pick an area and die cut it out, and I will be right back. Alright, that's what we got. Now we're going to bring in all of our pieces. I'm going to start by layering this piece onto our black. And there's just going to be a tiniest little border all the way around. This will get mounted to the front of the card. Okay, now we're going to center this gold frame, the center of that Just Jade. Don't put too much glue, real light, thin glue so it doesn't ooze out the sides. Nothing worse than getting glue on your foil. Center it. Okay. This piece is going to get dropped right in the center of that. we're going to bring in these pieces. And they don't fit across words. They don't fit in that space without going over the edge. That's why I did them a little cattywampus. First thing I'm going to do then is go ahead and glue the U onto the vase. Come on. Thank you. Try to make sure it's straight so it doesn't look cattywampus. Okay, then I'm going to lay these out how I want my letters to appear. So that they all fit on there. Okay, I'm going to bring in a dimensional, a couple, put it on the back of these. Take those backs off. I'm going to bring in my leaves. I'm going to lay them out. One like that. One like that. And this one goes here. So lay them out like that. And I'm going to pick them up, set my vase in where I want it. And that dimensional is going to help hold them in. And I'm just going to tip it over and add a little bit of adhesive to the backs of a few of those. Come on, thank you. Okay, now we're going to add glue to the back of these other letters. So the only one popped up is the vase. There we go. There's our card. Oh, I forgot the bow. Okay, I tied a bow with the crinkled seam binding. Put a glue dot on the back. Go ahead and attach that right there. Well, there we go. It's a card we just made together. Here's the one I did previously. So each one's going to be a little bit different. My G is crooked on this one. Must have slid. There we go. I could see it in the camera lens. Well, thanks for joining me at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper. Have a great one.